confused.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Something Super Podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
And guys, this week we are hosting our buddy AJ again, and he's going to be here for the boys. Say what's up, AJ.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So, we're going to be doing the boys trailer that just dropped. It's big. We see a lot of giant stuff coming out of this, and we have a lot of questions. I think it raised more questions than it answered anything, if I'm being honest. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of new details of what's coming on. I mean, you got Billy Butcher, who's now a soup, apparently, it looks like, and he's juicing like A-Train was. Who else was there? I mean, you see at least 3 people get blown up, and we're seeing a couple new characters. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Supernatural, so for me personally, like, I'm really excited to see what Jensen Ackles brings to the table as Soldier Boy. Like, we know he can do Bruce Wayne. We know he can do Jason Todd. We know he can do Dean Winchester.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. So, AJ, I know we just watched the trailer now. So, what do you think of the boys trailer? I mean, this is season 3. We already have, a very well-built cast. We got a couple new characters coming in. What do you feel for me?
I'm actually kind of excited. I mean, the amount of explosions for people going on, it's definitely going to be a gruesome season from what I can see. But from the first 2 seasons, it's always been very on the gruesome side, very dark hero comedy, and I'm blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 110%. Like, it is, for me, one of those things where, like, it's gritty, it's dark, it's funny, and it sort of checks all those boxes that I feel like I needed checked. And some of the boxes I wasn't even aware I needed checked. Like, I didn't know I'd be just like, all right, yeah, I'll just blow people up. Yeah, this is fun. All right, whatever. So I'm completely cool with it. I love the trailer. I think we got a lot to look forward to this season. I know, Mark, you got a lot of stuff you wanted to break down, so let's dive right in.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, Jensen Ackles' costume looks great. Like, I am a huge fanboy of him, so I'm going to keep bringing him up. I don't care. But, I mean, you got A-Train has a new suit. I'm not sure where that takes place because there's a scene with him and Homelander where Homelander's kind of, like, toying around with him and threatening him, and he's in the old blue suit. But then it looks like he's on, like you were saying, it looks almost like an American Idol type of a TV show for, like, soups. But now it's got it's like gold, maroon, green,
blue. It's got a little bit of everything in it, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if like that's just like he's trying to up his image because obviously in like season 1 and 2, like he's a recovering drug addict and all this other stuff. Like obviously all of them have their downfalls. But yeah, I mean it looks like the Deep is starting to get back into psychedelic drugs and things like that, which we know we've seen him get involved in the last season. Yeah, I mean, as always, though, it looks like they're sticking with that whole monetization of products and everything like that. And A-Train's commercial, he like runs in between like the protesters and the police and kind of like it's like a stop motion, but then it's like, hey, enjoy this cold drink, and he like cracks open a can of an energy drink or something like.
Yeah, it's his like what's it called, Turbo Rush or something like that. Essentially, it's the A-Train energy drink. So, I mean, we got a lot to see. We got a lot to unpack. Obviously the opening scene is Butcher with glowing eyes. So, how does he get those? Mark and I were speculating earlier. We think that he's juicing like the compound V, which would be interesting because this is the first time it's ever been used on like an adult that we're aware of. Prior, obviously, if you already had superpowers, you can use it, it just like amplifies you. But what about if you've never had superpowers?
And I think that's why in the one scene, like they break Huey's arm. I'm wondering if they're testing on him and trying to see like if he can get like healing powers and shit like that.
Yeah, here, let's check if you have healing powers. I'm gonna break your arm real quick.
I actually think that might be an ultimatum. Huey doesn't want to take Compound V because he doesn't want to be a soup, so they break his arm and say you either deal with the broken arm or you take Compound V.
That is a Billy Butcher.
It is a Butcher move.
Like
it could also have to do with the fact that he's still technically dating Starlight, and I mean, she's kind of on the border. Like she's still in the 7. She's not, a 100% like turncoat necessarily yet. So
yeah, but she also sees everything for what it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And she's not blind by the money. She
Yeah.
actually wants to legitimately help people still.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mark, we saw a lot going on in this trailer. What are you most looking forward to in season 3?
Honestly, there's so much. Number one, is Soldier Boy part of the Seven, or is he kind of like another entity in this case? Like, is he going to be a good guy or a bad guy? Like, we've all seen that they all have their shades of like, they're good, but how good are they? Like, you got Homelander, who's just a straight dick about everything, but then you have Starlight, who's like more reserved, but she's done a couple things to go against the grain in the season. So like, not any of them are perfect. Black Noir, we really don't know shit about.
I love it.
I love it too, but like, I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, all right, like we got some of his like when he was like spying and hunting them last season, and they were like in the house, and they're like, we can't go outside. Like, why? He's like, Black Noir's on the roof across the street, and he's like just sitting there. I'm like, all right, like. I get it, like, it's funny, it's making fun of, like, Batman, because, like, Batman's, like, at night, he's hunting people, like, this is just in the middle of the day, he's just hanging out across the street on a roof with binoculars. But,
Yeah, he's one of those mysterious characters that I feel like we'll get a little bit more into this season, because I feel like he kind of goes off and does his own thing. I don't think he ever really, like, agreed with the shit that Homelander was doing, but he also, like, who's going to stand up to a god?
right,
You know, and between him and Queen Maeve, like they're matched, obviously, other than like the laser vision and the flight, but she still has essentially all of his powers.
right, I mean, it's the same thing as DC's Trinity, right there, that's
Sure.
pretty much what it is. You got Black Noir, who's, like, their Batman, you got their Superman, which is Homelander, and then you have Queen Maeve, who's their Wonder Woman.
And then you got A-Train as the Flash.
Right, but, like, but even in DC, like, Wonder Woman and Batman, like, they know how to take out Superman, but like if he really wanted to, like, and that's like, it's my favorite line almost of any DC movie is literally when in Batman vs Superman, Superman's like, trust me, if I wanted to kill you, you would already be dead.
Absolutely.
Like 100%, he's like, yeah, I'm holding back, and that's where we get with Homelander here is like he doesn't hold back.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's a
And
big thing.
now that Billy's juicing or he is a soup or whatever, like. That's the altercation I'm ready for because we already got a tease of it last season with like Homelander's son or whatever that whole storyline was going
Yeah, I
on.
like that.
And I'm interested to see how they reincorporate the kid back into the story because the last thing it leaves with is like Butcher's like, remember, don't be a cunt. Like, like that was his words of wisdom to this like little 7-year-old kid.
I'm curious as to if obviously Homelander wants to have a part in his son's life, but like he's a very high profile person. Like he can't just go like, oh, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna put on a hat and glasses and disappear for the day.
Right.
Like no, everyone knows who he is. And what I think is interesting about this world versus like the DC or Marvel, or I guess it's closer to even to Marvel, like they don't have an identity. They
Right.
are like he is Homelander, and because he was born in a
Well-
lab, he literally doesn't have like he doesn't have plain clothes. He's not going to go out in like a shirt and tie somewhere.
Well, in season 1, he did say, I had a secret identity, but I gave up on it.
Well,
So-
but even most of them, like A-Train, I mean, he's just a narcissist, so he kind of wants the
Attention.
correct.
But like Maeve, like we saw her and her girlfriend like behind closed doors and like the seasons and stuff like that. Like some of them do have like for all we know, Black Noir's literally been just sitting in like the front row of every other scene, just not in costume, and we'd have no fucking idea.
Exactly, and I think that's a big thing. Like a lot of these guys, like the Deep, and most of them are known. You know, they have their identity, and that's all they have.
Right.
Like the Deep, I feel like would be nothing without his superpowers.
Oh, he wouldn't. He's a piece of shit human being.
Exactly, but that he's one of those people that his like everything he has comes because he is a superhero.
Well, the Deep is basically like a really shitty version of Aquaman. So
Well, I mean, no, the Deep is exactly who Aquaman was back in like the 60s.
Yeah.
He's a really shitty, he's an accurate version of Aquaman.
Prior to Jason Momoa, he's what Aquaman was viewed as by everybody.
And
Yeah.
that is 100% a fucking fact. Like, could not disagree. Or I could not agree with you more. Like, Jason Momoa really changed the Aquaman outlook.
yeah, they portrayed him as a god of the under of
ocean.
the
The
ocean,
sea.
the sea. Yeah,
Under the sea.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, it is, without Jason Momoa, Aquaman's kind of lame. I mean, he's still kind of, like, and, It's just kind of a lame superhero, but like I'm sorry, Jason Momoa, you're a great guy, and I think you're awesome. But like, Aquaman's kind of a lame superhero. You being you brought that aspect. And like, if Jason Momoa wasn't a bad motherfucker, he'd still be a lame ass superhero.
And honestly, the funniest thing too is like Aquaman is arguably like top 5 strongest like heroes in the DC universe that people don't even like realize like some of his powers. Like because he like lives in Atlantis, like his body is so like durable and he has such like strong like such superhuman strength. People are like, oh, he just talks to fish. It's like, yeah, but have you seen some of the fish that are fucking out there? Like,
No, here is, and I'm going to say this: it is 110% because of the original DC comics when he was wearing like that bright orange and green suit, and
the
he was
yellow
like,
belt.
yeah, and he was like riding dolphins like on their backs, like standing on the backs of dolphins. Like that right there is exactly who I remember Aquaman as a kid. He was not cool.
the Family Guy episode.
Yeah.
Hey, I just threw a starfish at you. What are you gonna do with that?
And that is Aquaman. Like when you think of Aquaman, you think of like the nerdiest, like loser superhero, and it's like, all right, cool. Like, what are you gonna do on land, buddy? You're not gonna do anything because you can't come out of the water. And like, obviously, it's changed so much drastically. You know, like you said, he has the durability, he has the superhuman strength, he's got like the speed and stamina and all that other kind of stuff. So like that, it does bring new levels to his character. And like obviously, people, you know, that don't know. But like when you think of Aquaman, like obviously prior to Jason Momoa, you were very much thinking like the blonde hair, comb over, you know, he's not even like built like the other people are. Like if you took just like the comics, it's just like a very like stringy looking dude. Like he's not strong. He doesn't look strong. I'm sorry, but no, Jason Momoa brought a different level to that character, and I also like most of the new DC animation. Like that, he is a different character now.
Right.
He still has that original like look to him, but he looks like more intimidating.
He's more beefy.
Yeah,
He can
absolutely.
actually impose his will on people now.
So yeah, before it was just like, I'm gonna splash you. Ooh, you better not be wearing new jeans.
So, to bring it back to the boys though, with Butcher now becoming a soup, how do you think like he's gonna deal with that? Because like his whole drive is like, fuck soups, I just want to kill them all. But now he is one.
So I think it's more like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, sort of thing. Like I'm doing this because this is the means to an end. It's
If you
not because I
can't beat 'em,
want to.
join 'em.
Correct. And he's not even going to join them. He's saying like
Well, I'm
essentially.
saying getting powers.
Yeah, he's essentially saying like there is one way to end Homelander, and it like he has no visible weaknesses or like there's no weaknesses that we're aware of. His weakness is death. Like,
Right.
That's it. He needs to die, and this is the only way to do it. And I'm curious as to see how, because they had in season 1 they had like the terrorist soups,
Right.
where they were like giving it to adults and it was like causing them to become this like megalomaniacs. Now I wonder if that's going to change his view on things, if it's going to change his like outlook on, okay, well like now that I'm super, now I can be even, I mean he's an asshole, but like now I can be even more of an asshole and no one's going to stop me.
But see, but Butcher is like the asshole that I love.
Oh, absolutely.
Like-
And I'm curious to see, like, I think I agree with you, AJ, with the whole, like, Huey's given, like, an ultimatum and they break his arm. But I also think it has to, it's not because he's not taking the Compound V. I think it's something else entirely. I don't want to see Huey as a hero. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I like his character the way he is.
100%.
Like, there needs to be that guy. And he's
He's just so timid and afraid of like everything, but he still has that anger built up.
Well, literally, IMDb lists one of it. Fun fact for you guys who haven't noticed, but on IMDb, they list one of his superpowers as irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you want to really get into it and talk about like him as a character, like
that is his superpower. But I do like the callback to season 1, where Huey got like really nervous and threw up on Butcher. And then in this, Butcher ends up throwing up on Huey, but it's like
Yeah.
green, so it could be from the Compound V.
I think it's from the compound.
That's another
I
thing,
think
though.
he drank the Compound V right before that. So
So let me ask you a question, because if I'm not mistaken, Compound V was blue, correct?
It was.
Okay, so the stuff that Butcher's taking is green. So it's very reminiscent of like the Bane,
Venom.
yeah, like the serum that Venom, the Bane takes. Now, is it because they took the Compound V in the last season? They had Starlight like have someone steal it, and then
Right.
she passed it off. Now, is this like their own synthetic version of it? Like they reworked it, like maybe Frenchie did something with it?
I mean, that's possible. I mean, you see in the Flash, you have what's the Flash's compound
Oh,
called?
Velocity 9.
Yeah, but like there was then Velocity 10, there was Velocity X. Like they
Yeah,
had
all that
different
crazy shit, yeah.
updates. And like you said, I could see Frenchie being someone who would be able to manipulate it and
Oh, absolutely.
create something new. And Butcher's gonna be the one to be like, yeah, like I'm not gonna test it on you guys. I'll test it on myself first.
Yeah, he is that kind of like leader.
So
I'm excited to see how they pull that one off. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the trailers. Like, I mean, you can say Soldier Boy is literally, we're gonna call it just Captain America. I mean, there's the scene where he's fighting in like the army camp and just takes the shield and like knocks the dude through the roof.
right.
And like, I mean, I love the fact that they're sort of like name calling at these big superheroes that Marvel and DC have been like pinning all of their success on for decades.
Right. And that's the cool thing too is like the boys like isn't like a new thing. Like these comics have been around, and literally that's pretty much all it is just a parody of DC and Marvel when it comes to like their characters and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I love it. Like I'm excited for it. I'm curious if they've released. I want to say when I was looking the other day, I think they're gonna do the first 3 episodes, and
Okay.
then from there it'll be weekly.
Weekly, okay, yeah, and that's, I mean, I'm cool with that because give me 3 that'll satiate me for the first week. I'm probably gonna binge it. Let's be honest.
See, and that's what I don't want to do. I don't want. I know if you give it to me all at once, I don't have the self control to not binge it.
Okay, so like now the real question here is if you're getting 3 episodes at once and there's an episode a week later, are you gonna like spread them out like 2 days apart? Like how are we gonna manage that?
I say yes, but no.
Realistically, no.
No.
I get
I'm
that.
literally gonna. The
Well,
first
there you
one's
go.
gonna end, and it's gonna end like the first in the season and the second season, and it's just gonna make you want more, and I'm gonna have more. So I'm gonna watch the second episode. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be done after the second episode, and then the
Yeah.
second episode's gonna end, and then I'm gonna see the third one's there, and it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah, no, and I respect that.
I'll end up falling asleep during it because I don't sleep enough, and then I'll have to go back and rewatch it like 6 times, and then by the time I actually watch all 3 episodes, it'll
be a
be
week.
season 4.
3 years later.
All right, I finally got through the first 3 episodes. What did I miss? So we're on season 9 now. So, but yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for it. I think it's going to be huge. We saw so much stuff. I mean, obviously the woman, I can't even remember her name off the top of my head. The woman that just makes people explode from last season. Like she was very mysterious, and we thought that she was someone else. We thought it was Stormfront.
I don't know if they actually gave
Yeah, I don't know if they gave her a
yet.
name. She's like a
mean, I'm sure
FBI
she's-
agent of
yeah.
some sort.
I'm sure she's probably credited as somebody, but I'm not sure who.
But yeah,
it would
we see
be.
her like right off the jump, just making people blow up. Like there's the scene in the alleyway where like you see her in the red coat, and then a body just explodes. And Mark and I had to watch it like 4 times
Yeah, 'cause
to
I
understand
mean,
exactly what was going on. Because again, it could have just been like an innocent bystander, and like maybe someone came up under the ground and like just made them blood. You had no idea what was going on until you watch her progressively just start killing more and more people throughout the trailer.
Yeah, because I mean, you do have Crimson Countess in this
She's new.
season, but she's new. I don't think that's.
I don't want to say
The
it's her,
same
but I mean,
character.
it very well could be. Because again, well, Crimson Countess sort of has like a Scarlet Witch kind of vibe to her,
Right.
Where she like pulls out this like red energy blast, and there's when they're at like the fair or whatever, and there's like the Homelander guy.
Right.
He's dressed up in like a Homelander suit, and she just blows him up, which I think is
Oh, her name
super
is
fun.
Shockwave, by the way.
The woman that blows people up. Okay, so she is. Yeah, she's listed on IMDb.
Yeah, Shockwave's her name.
Okay, so that's. And
I
I,
don't
guess
think
that makes
she's
sense.
Shockwave. Because this is saying Shockwave is a guy.
I mean, no.
Well, Shockwave blows people up too, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, then we got lots of people to blow people up. Fantastic. That's pretty much what the boys is all about.
But yeah, I'll have to do some digging and try to figure it out. But yeah, like I'm super excited for this season, and we've been waiting for it, and now we're finally getting. Just like they're just so good at promoting it. Like literally, it was just like I think it was Carl Urban was like, "Here you go, you twinks finally got a trailer," and it's still they just like shared the trailer, and like that's what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, like
What I'm curious about is who's Queen Maeve stabbing with her sword?
That's a good question. I mean,
I could
So-
see her fighting either Soldier Boy. Honestly, I could see her fighting Homelander.
I would say it's not Homelander though. So like her and Homelander have like this
They have-
love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
Like they respect each other, but they don't like each other.
Right. Well, they dated before too, so they're
Correct.
exes.
Yeah,
Well,
but
they only dated for the 7 for the whole
like the appearance.
monetizing and appearances.
Right.
But I think a huge aspect to it is I don't think a sword would do shit to him.
No,
So like, what is stabbing him gonna do? He's a
mean,
god.
You never know.
I mean, unless it's a special kind of blade.
kryptonite.
which-
Yeah, kryptonite blade. Whatever the anti-serum kryptonite is, or whatever the fucking.
Question is, has anybody tried hitting him with a sword yet?
Has anyone tried a baseball bat?
Like,
A crowbar, as Billy Butcher would use. But yeah, I'm curious to see what Butcher's powers are, and we see like the energy beams coming from his eyes, which is an interesting.
and he punches someone across a parking garage. So
Yeah,
like,
that's
he
true.
has
So-
super strength, and he has the laser beam. So
I mean,
to
I
me, it
assume-
looks like it's emulating Homelander's powers.
So we just gotta see if he can fly, though. That's like a big. If he can fly, that would be wild. I don't want him to be able to fly. Like I don't.
See, I almost do, because just because of who his character is as a person.
I
Yeah,
see it.
the
Like, I feel
lines that would come out of his mouth
Right.
while he's flying.
And that's what
would
I'm.
be-
That's more what I'm going for. Is like, but-
I hear it. I just for me, I don't know. And it's just we had that talk. It was like episode 10 when we had Adam Nutter on. Like flying is such a shit trope. Like I fucking hate it. God, I hate it. And I hate Superman.
you know
Jay,
who
I know
else
you're
can-
not. I know you're not listening, so it doesn't matter.
You know who else can fly?
Who?
Captain Marvel.
Captain fucking Marvel. Don't get me started. Fuck you, Brie Larson. Captain Marvel is so shit. God damn it. They're gonna give her and fucking Jeremy Renner a TV show, and I'm only gonna watch it for Jeremy Renner. I'm just gonna like turn it off or mute it every time she's on the screen. Like we noticed that it's trending that like the first 5 minutes are cool, and then everyone turns off the show, and then everyone turns it back on, and Jeremy Renner's back on the screen, and we're good. And like, God, I hate it. I am so ready for Multiverse of Madness and her to not be Captain Marvel anymore. Teyana Paris is gonna crush it as Photon. God, I can't wait to see that. Take her the fuck out of the MCU with her shit haircut.
Oh god. But yeah, no, for the boys though, I'm stoked. I can't.
Oh, absolutely. I am. There's so much going on in this trailer. They give you a lot of really good shots of Jensen Ackles in his costume, which is exciting. Again, very Captain America-esque. Like he's got a star on his helmet instead of the A. I mean, the helmet almost looks like Captain America's. The shield looks like the OG Captain America shield. Which I really like. I love all these callbacks. I love the fact that they make fun of DC and Marvel because they were such big players for, again, like I said, decades. I mean, Superman goes all the way back to like talk radio when they were like giving the Superman show, and like people would sit around the radio and listen to that, like
Right.
way back when. And like this is ever since comics came out, and don't get me wrong, like DC and Marvel will always be like the top two more like comic book sales. You're never gonna get like a boys movie, that's gonna have spanning over 10 years and 30 movies and all this other shit. Like you're not gonna get that. But they are making an impact, and I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a movie though?
I would think it would be awesome.
So it looks like episode 1, 2, and 3 come out June 3rd. Then it's every week after is one episode, and there's only gonna be 8 episodes.
That's one thing I don't like about the boys. The episodes are so long, and there's not enough of them.
I agree. But I think
So I think it works.
no, yeah. I think giving us too much, like a 10 episodes, because they're an hour long each.
About that.
Roughly.
I think it's like
So-
45 minutes or something.
Okay, yeah. So I think I just want to, I'm okay with 8 episodes. It's 8 hours, roughly,
Right.
of watch time, and yeah, I mean, hell, that's like 4 movies, unless you're watching Batman or Endgame or any of the newer fucking Marvel movies. They're all 3 hours long now.
Right.
But
I'm cool with it though.
yeah, honestly, I'm not entirely sure like what else I can say about the trailer. Like I said, I'm just super excited for season 3. This is one of those shows that they're gonna have for a while. They got a lot of comics to sort of back it up. And I mean, they can just keep making up new superheroes. That's really what Marvel and DC have been doing for fucking ever at this point. So I'm ready for it. I'm excited. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I've got. Mark?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't want them to give away too much more.
Yes.
Like, honestly, if they left it
yes.
at just one trailer, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even if they did like an alternate trailer where it's like very similar, but like, in a different, order of events, I don't, I'm just like, I agree with you. I don't want to see too much because I don't want it to be given away because it is a short season. It's only 8 episodes. So I don't want to see like the big like jaw dropping moments just yet. AJ?
I'm just super excited about it. I want to see more people blowing up. I'm kind of sick and twisted in that aspect, but yes, I'm very, very excited for this season to come out. It was a long time wait and definitely need it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I mean, that's really all I've got. So, one last thing before we jump off, and if you guys have been listening to us at all throughout, this past week, you'll have heard our first ever commercial. We are doing a giveaway for Multiverse of Madness tickets. So, if you've gotten this far into our episode, awesome. We hope you guys are excited for the boys as well. But we also hope you're excited for the Multiverse of Madness. So we're going to be giving away 2 free tickets to go see Multiverse of Madness in whatever theater you choose. You got to check out our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. You're going to have to like the post and share it on your respective pages. Just make sure we're tagged in it so that we know that you shared it, and that'll give you 1 free entry into our giveaway. You're allowed to enter as many times as you'd like. Each share, counts towards your bank of shares, and we'd love to see our name get out there. We'd love to see you guys go see the movie, so keep that in mind. And last but not least, I'm Steve.
I'm Mark.
I'm AJ.
And we'll catch you guys next week.